Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Nuri Shafika Petibuno Hajar. Today I will present my topic, e-commerce industry during and after COVID-19. First, e-commerce means buying and selling things online using website or mobile app. For example, Shopee, Lazada, and Amazon. This industry is growing fast because more people now use the internet and smartphone, and it is very easy and convenient. During COVID-19, e-commerce became very important. Many shops were closed, so many started buying things online instead. People mainly bought essential items like food, grocery, medicine, and daily necessities. Because this is online shopping and digital payment increased a lot. E-commerce also include different activity like selling product online, advertising, payment system, delivery, and customer service. The market also grew a lot during this time. Online shopping increased from 60% in 2019 to 19% in 2025. Many small businesses also use online platform to continue selling their products. However, there were also some problems like delayed delivery, limited stock, higher shipping costs, and strong competition between sellers. In conclusion, COVID-19 made the e-commerce industry grow faster and become more important in our daily life.
My name is Arita Shrihana Burpon and my metric number is MC014. So today I'm going to explain about political factors. Political factors played an important role in supporting the growth of e-commerce during the COVID-19 pandemic. Firstly, governments introduced various digital initiatives, grants and incentives to help business continue operating during lockdowns. In Malaysia, programs such as Penjana encourage SMEs to adopt e-commerce platform and digital payment system. As a result, businesses were able to reach more customers online and improve transaction initiative. However, some SME faced difficulties due to limited technological knowledge, while increased competition and cybersecurity risk become major challenges. Secondly, government strength regulation on online transaction, consumer protection and privacy law e-commerce activities increased rapidly during the pandemic. This regulation helped to increase consumer confidence and reduce fraud and scam in online shopping. However, complying with this regulation increased operational costs of business, especially smaller companies with limited resources, and in some cases, delay business operation due to additional compliance requirements. Another important political factor was implementation of movement control orders or MCO and lockdown measures. The physical store were forced to close. Consumers shifted towards online shopping for both essential and non-essential goods. This led to significant increase in the commerce sales and encouraged businesses to adapt to digital operations. However, the sudden rise in demand created pressure on logistical services, caused shortages, and disrupted supply chain, particularly for business that relied on important products. In addition, governments classified logistic and delivery service essential service during the lockdown period. This allowed e-commerce businesses to continue operating and ensure consumers could still access essential products. Delivery workers face greater health and safety risks, while businesses experience labor shortage, operational stress, and higher transportation and safety compliance costs, which reduce profitability. This is from me. Thank you so much.
Hi, good day everyone. My name is Kirtana Gandasamy and my metric number is MC014299499. So today I would like to explain about how COVID-19 affect e-commerce from an economic view. So here we go. First, during the lockdown, people couldn't go out, so they start buying things online instead of going to the shops. Also, because of this, e-commerce grow very fast. At the same time, many business also move to online, so the competition become very higher. On the positive side, online sales increase a lot and more people got used to using the digital platform like online purchasing. But on the negative side, many people very worried about the money, so they spend less and the small business struggle to keep up. So the next is for consumer spending. People focus more on essential things like food and healthcare and spend less on luxury items. Also, the digital payment like e-wallet become more popular. So the good side is higher online demand and the more use of digital payments, but the bad side is lower spending on the non-essential items and more unstable customer behavior. So the overall e-commerce grow very fast, but the business had to adapt the fast to the changes. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Nur Atika Minta Amnum Talik, matric number MC014052882. Today we are going to look at some of the major economic factors that have really shaken up the business lately. Specifically, we are looking at how the pandemic forced companies to change how they handle the supply chain and the job market. Supply chain disruptions. First up, let's talk about supply chain disruption. We all remember when everything came to a halt. Factory shut down and travel restriction made it incredibly tough to move goods. But it wasn't all bad news. Company actually learned a lot from this. On the plus side, business stopped putting all their egg in one basket. They started to use a different supply and upgrade their inventory system to keep better track of this stock. On the downside, it always still a bumpy ride. Delivery delays really hurt customer satisfaction, and the skyrocketing cost for shipping and logistics took a massive bite of everyone's profits. Next, let's pivot to labor market change. The massive boom in e-commerce completely flipped the job market upside down. Looking at this change, it actually opened up a ton of new opportunity. We saw a huge rise in logistics and delivery jobs, a massive growth in gig work like freelancers and delivery rider, and it gave a landing spot for worker leaving traditional retail. However, it came with some heavy weakness. Peak demand season brought major labor shortage. The employees who stayed and are facing a much higher workload, not to mention the intense job pressure and health risk of working through a pandemic. So to wrap things up, yes, there are distractions were a huge headache for business everywhere. But at the end of the day, they also force company to innovate, adapt, and build much smarter system for the future. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Mazani bin Azim. My matric number is MC014929448, and I will present about the social factor in the e-commerce industry during the COVID-19 pandemic. During the COVID-19 pandemic, consumer behavior changed significantly as people stayed home and avoided physical store. Many consumers shift to online shopping through platforms like Shopee, Lazada, and TikTok Shop. At the same time, home delivery services and cashless payment became more popular because they were safer and more convenient. And then these changes created several strengths for the e-commerce industry, which is first, more people started shopping online, which increased the numbers of customers and boost sales. Second, the use of cashless payment made transaction faster, easier, and more convenient for both consumer and businesses. However, there were also weaknesses, which is older consumers and those with limited digital skills found it difficult to use online platform. So in addition, the growth of e-commerce led to more online scams and counterfeit products. And customers could not physically inspect products before buying, which sometimes caused dissatisfaction. Okay, next I will explain the shift in societal values during the COVID-19 pandemic. So during the pandemic, consumer prioritized safety, convenience, and speed, leading to greater acceptance of online shopping and digital technology. So more people also supported local online businesses and small entrepreneurs. The strength were increased demand for e-commerce, wider adoption of digital technology, and more opportunities for local businesses to sell online. However, there were also weaknesses, which is physical store had fewer customers, face-to-face shopping decreased, and smaller businesses with limited digital skills struggled to compete with larger online sellers. Next, I will explain the third social factor, which is public health awareness during the COVID-19 pandemic. So during the pandemic, people became more concerned about their health and safety. They avoided crowded places and preferred online shopping because it was safer option. As a result, the demand for home delivery, contactless delivery, and cashless payment increased significantly. So the strength were added e-commerce provided a safer shopping experience, delivery services grew rapidly and more consumers adopted contactless and cashless payment methods. However, there were also weaknesses. The sudden increase in online order put pressure on logistic companies, causing delivery delays. Consumer also became more dependent on delivery services, making the system more vulnerable to disruption. So, in conclusion, public health awareness encouraged safer shopping habits and accelerated the growth of e-commerce during the COVID-19 pandemic. Thank you. That's
Good day, Miss. I'm Prishla Arul. Let me share my thought of technology factors businesses pre, during, and post COVID. First of many business adopted new technology and new ways of doing things. The pandemic allowed many companies to speed up their usage of artificial intelligence, cloud computing, automation, and data analytics, which allowed many companies to increase how fast their business operates by decreasing the amount of paper and other manual processes, as well as they provide a better experience for their customers as a result of using these types of technologies. Although it did help businesses, implementing these type of technologies also created several business challenges that the current world had not faced before, such as how much they spend on new equipment, threats to data security, and limited human or financial resources available. Second, before and after the pandemic, the travel industry created new technologies for travel, such as contactless check-in technology and mobile boarding passes, so that people would have less physical contact with other travelers and travel-related personnel to create safer experience while traveling. Also, the use of AI-generated recommendation and providing real-time of travel updates made traveler easy than ever before. Despite the benefits of the new travel technologies, there were still challenges for the airlines in being able to provide these new technologies and service due to high equipment costs, equipment failures, and growing fears related to data privacy for customer when using this new technology. Then, e-commerce has explained in retail due to the pandemic as consumers preferred to buy things online versus going to a store. Most retailers also increased their digital presence and expanded their businesses to reach more and customers sales. Because of this preference, retailers had hurdles during this time as well, including delays in delivery, disruption in supply chain, and consumers could not touch or see their products before purchasing. That's all from me, miss.
Hi, my name is Sanjana Nisarajan. My metric number is MC014 29430. So now I will explain about the technological factors that affected the e-commerce industry during and after COVID-19. Food delivery apps like GrabFood and FoodPanda also became very important. They help restaurants continue their business and allow customers to order food safely. However, some restaurants face high commission fees and delivery days. Furthermore, telehealth services also increased. Patients could talk to doctors online without going to hospitals. This helped reduce the spread of COVID-19 and made healthcare easier to access, especially for people in rural areas. But there are still problems like poor internet and privacy issues. Overall, technology helped business and people a lot during the pandemic, even though there are still some challenges.
To conclude my presentation, the COVID-19 pandemic had a very impact on the e-commerce industry. It changed the way people shop and made online shopping grow very quickly. Because of lockdowns, move restriction, and health concern, many people move from physical store to online platform. E-commerce then becomes something very important in daily life, especially for buying basic needs like food, grocery, and healthcare products. From the PEST analysis, we can clearly see the impact from different sides. Politically, government support such as digital politics and involve control order help business continue operating online. Economically, the industry grew fast with high sales, but it is also faced problems like supply chain disruption, higher costs, and change in consumer spending. Socially, people change their behavior by using more online shopping, cashless payment, and delivery service. Technologically, the industry improved a lot with mobile apps, e-wallet, AI, and cloud system, which make online shopping easier. However, even with all this improvement, there are still challenges. This includes strong competition, delivery and logistic problems, cybersecurity risks, and also digital, where everyone equally access to technology. In conclusion, COVID-19 has permanently changed the e-commerce industry. It made it grow faster, but at the same time, it also shows many challenges that need to be improved in the future. Thank you.